I have coached thousands of people who sell services, things like consulting, things like MSP services or IT services, things like coaching. And in the thousands of sales calls that I have heard, that I have seen, or hundreds of processes that I've looked at and evaluated, there is one mistake that I see people making over and over and over again. And if you want to close more deals, drive more sales, you've got to fix it. Let's dive into what it is real quick here. Hey, what's up? I'm Ray Green, former executive turned nomad entrepreneur. I have run dozens of sales teams, several turnarounds for private equity groups. I've turned around several business units, including as managing director for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And I have sold and built sales teams in a variety of industries, mostly selling some type of service, right? Like something like coaching, consulting, professional services, IT services, many of these things that have a consultative sales process where you've got different touch points, right? So you've got, some people doing outbound, you go into like a qualifying call, then you do some type of discovery call, then maybe you do an assessment or some type of proposal, and then you've got a proposal meeting, and you do all this, right? You do all this marketing, you do all of this sales process, you engineer everything efficiently, you execute it flawlessly, and there is one mistake that I see people make over and over and over again, and it is confusing the sales process and executing the sales process with the art of actually closing the deal. Here's the thing. When you are selling services, the actual sales part, like the essence of sales, like where the art of sales really comes in, starts once you've asked for money. It starts once you've started the process of closing. It did not start when you were sharing all the information. Now, it's true that you're basically always selling, right? At some point, like all roads lead to discovery, as I say, like what questions you're asking, how you run your discovery, how you present yourself, how you execute your sales process. All of that's true. But the real art of sales starts once you have asked for the order, once you have asked for the money. That is when you are going to hear the objections. That is when you are going to see the body language change. That is when you are going to get asked the questions. That is when you are going to see the resistance. That is when the room may get uncomfortable, right? You've asked for money. That is when the art of closing starts. And the mistake that people make is they execute this entire process, right? They go into their proposal meeting with this 60-minute deal, and they use all the time to run everything, and they give themselves 4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to actually close the deal. And it doesn't work. That's when you have to answer the questions. You have to extract what the objections are. You have to really address what those things are. You have to unpack what the real concerns are. You need to get the decision, the confirmation, the yes while you were there. Like you've got to ask for the money. You've got to close the deal. Now, are you going to be able to walk out with a signed contract all the time? Absolutely not. But if you have not asked for the sale with sufficient time to ask appropriately, to then allow questions and pull out what the hidden objections really are and address each one of those, then you are screwing yourself in the process. You're wasting all of this time executing what is probably a pretty good process up to that point, but by not giving yourself sufficient time to actually start closing the deal, what you are going to end up with is a massive pipeline of undecided buyers. A CRM that is full of people that are in the follow-up mode, that are, I'm touching base, here I am following up, wanted to follow up on the thing, wanted to get back on your radar, wanted to see if we could connect, you're stuck in that process because you are not running the closing process in the piece where you are asking for the money, asking for the order, and addressing the objections efficiently and sufficiently. So if there's one tweak that you can make to your entire consultative sales process, it is this. I recommend giving yourself the amount of time that you are going to need to actually ask for the order, ask relevant questions as a follow-up if they are not ready to commit right then, identify what the hidden objections are, because they oftentimes either won't tell you or they aren't even really clear themselves. They just aren't ready to fork over money or commit to something. And you've got to identify those things. You've got to ask the right questions to get to what the real source of that discontent or indecision or whatever it is that's driving that. And you've got to give yourself the time to do that. If you make one tweak, that is what I recommend. Tweak your process to give yourself more time to actually close more deals, and you will reduce the number of undecided people that you have currently in your CRM that are undecided and wasting your time in the follow-up zone. Hope it helps. Adios.